Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with C6 Stitch, and today is Saturday, September 11th, 2021. You've found my channel about cross stitch, and I'm so glad that you are here. Jack's also glad that you're here. If you heard that in the background, that was my cat Jack. Hi, welcome everyone. I just want to acknowledge that the 20th anniversary of 9/11. I can't believe it's been 20 years. And so it's a pretty somber day, I think, for a lot of not just Americans, but I know people around the world as well. So thinking of you all, especially those who were directly affected. I know we were all impacted by the events of September 11th. But I'm thinking of those of you who either ran into those buildings as firefighters or paramedics, or those who lost somebody. So I'm thinking about you today. Quick dresser update. So many of you were excited to see the before and afters of the dresser, which is lovely. I will be able to share that next week. It's nearly done. I had to let the dresser, after I put I put on 3 coats of like a sealant, like a protector. And it said let it dry for 3 days. So basically it's been sitting in my garage all week. I put the last coat on Monday, and then it just kind of sat in my garage all week, which meant my car has been parked in the driveway all week, which is fine, except I came out one morning and there was ash all over my car from nearby wildfires. So I have to go get a car wash later today, probably along with the rest of the city. But yes, the dresser's coming along really well. All I have left to do is basically put the handles on, and there's these little keyholes, and I got some new plates, and I want to spray paint them and then put those on, and then she'll be done. So I'm excited to share that with you. Hopefully next week you'll get to see the before and the after, and this is the dresser that will be going in my craft room. And my plan is that it will be holding all of my floss. And then whatever else, I'll have to see what else I have room for. But my plan is that it will be floss storage and some cross stitch supplies storage. All right, so Lisa asked me a really great question about Spring Quakers by Rosewood Manor. She asked, what size of the Valdoni threads are you using? And I thought that was a really good question because when I was looking to buy, I mentioned last week that I bought a couple extra skeins just because I was getting nervous that I would run out. And it was very confusing to try to find what I was using. And so there's, and I can't quite remember, but I know there was a 12 count, there was maybe a 9 count. And so it got very confusing. So Lisa, if you've looked and tried to buy additional Valdoni threads, it can be quite confusing. So what I have is it's just called the 3-stranded cotton floss, is what it calls for. And I found the easiest website I found was HattieandDella.com, and I'll put that down here, and I'll also link it down below in the description box. Because you can go straight to the 3-strand cotton floss section, and they have solids, but the Spring Quakers calls for the variegated. But you can kind of search by number on there and then pick out what you want. So that I found to be the easiest, and it's the right stuff for Spring Quakers. So if you're looking for, I might run out, that's my recommendation, is going to HattieandDella.com. So hopefully that helps. Sorry if you hear the dogs barking. It's beautiful out, and I have the windows open. All right, let's get into WIPs. We're doing ABCINGO this month. The requirements for ABCINGO is just 1 hour or 100 stitches. However, what I decided to do is just to make progress on each of my projects, that I want to do just a regular stitching session on each of these pieces. So for me, a regular stitching sessions, I aim to get 3 hours in. So I also set monthly goals. And so my monthly goals are multiples of 3, so that I can basically break it down if I'm saying 15 hours, then I know that that's 5 days worth of stitching. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but I can adjust for that. So I'm getting more than the 1 hour, which is great, and I'm working towards meeting my goals. So for ABCINGO, I only have 7 projects on my board. Let me show you my board first. So this is how my board is looking so far. I don't have a bingo yet. I'm really close. I'm hoping F gets called soon because then I would have a bingo here. This I accidentally, so anything in green has been called and anything in purple has been finished. So you can see everything that's been called has been finished except for C, which was called for today. So I call it the night before so that people can plan a little bit. So this is called last night for today. This was an accident. I didn't mean to highlight it. I should have highlighted the Z, accidentally highlighted the L. So that hasn't been called yet. But my closest to getting a bingo is if F is called for Bayonne Cat Owl Forest Embroidery. So I'm hoping that gets called soon. A lot of people are already starting to get bingos, so it's really, really been fun. It's great seeing all the progress people are making. Even, so today's the 11th. Even just in the 11 days, a lot of people have made a lot of progress on their projects, which is really fun to see. Okay, so Spring Quakers by Rosewood Manor, which we just talked about, came up 3 times this week, actually. It was called 3 times this week. It was called for the R for Rosewood Manor. It was called for the K for Karen Kluba, who is the designer behind Rosewood Manor. And it was called for the Q for Spring Quakers. So I will show you what it will look like when it's done. I completely forgot the elephant in the room. I'm in a new spot. I mean, you still see my paint sample, which I'm not going to go with, but it's still on the wall. I'm at my dining room table. I finally got it set up. I had some friends come over and help me flip it. So I'm at my dining room table now, which is great. I'm super excited. I know the background isn't quite as fun yet, but when my craft room gets complete, I plan to film up there. But for right now, isn't this kind of fun? Fun new background? Anyway. All right, so here's Spring Quakers. This is what it will look like. And my goal on this piece is to finish it for the year, and I think I'm going to make it. I'm really in the home stretch. So I was working over in this area. So I got this area all done, and last night I moved the Q snaps, so I'm starting in this area. And then, so I'm on the last 3 pages, but they're not even full pages. So that's really exciting. And this is, whoops, I took it off the Q-snap so I could show you the whole thing, but it's very wrinkly, so I apologize. I haven't ironed it yet. This is stitched on the called for 28 count Valor by Picture This Plus. And I always have to look. Okay, so this is what it looks like overall so far. Yes, very wrinkly. Isn't that, I think the colors are just so beautiful. So you can see over there in the bottom corner that I started that big motif there. And then last night so I finished up that part last night. So over here, I finished up this color and then this stem here I started on. And then I moved the Q-snaps over here to the other side. So this is page 7 of 9, and I did Orchid. I did this motif. I started on this bigger motif. Ivy was already there. So that's where we're at, and I can show you specifically on this chart. So it's this motif that I started on. That one's finished. Orchid is right there. So I do have quite a bit on here, but they're not full pages. The pages aren't as big as these other ones. And I have, this first part done here. And so when I get to this page is mostly just this motif, the last page, page 9. So we're getting there, folks, and I think it will get done. It is on my board 2 more times, I think I had it on there 5 times altogether. And we will, I think, get a finish this week. Look at this. I have a table. I can just throw things up there, and it's good to go. It's so exciting. All right, the next letter is N, and my N is Christmas Dinner, and this is by Stardust. This is from a very old issue of Stitcher's World or StitchWorld.com. It's no longer, it's a magazine. I think it was in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. And I love this piece. I've held on to this piece because I love it so much, and I decided to finally start it last December. And my goal for this piece for this year is 30 hours. And I've just started that this month. And the N stands for nature because we are out in nature. All right, so let's take a look at where I'm at on this. And this is stitched on a 32 count white linen. You see that okay? Let me see. I'll put something behind it here. And so this is where I got to. I did about 3 hours on this. Oh, Spring Quakers, I got a total of 9.5 hours in over 3 stitching sessions for the 3 letters. This I got a total of 3 hours done. And it's hard to see. I'm really bad at remembering to take before pictures and sharing those. So I filled in a lot of these trees in the background here. Now, I want to go up next time it gets called. And it is on my board, I think, 4 more times. I think I had this one on the board a lot. But I'm going to go back up in here and fill in some of the trees. But so this is the tree trunks. There's this light background here, which is kind of like your gray winter day. There's some half stitches in here, and there is some Kryneck. I haven't done any of the Kryneck yet. So the background, so this kind of gray purple is all half stitches, and then the rest are full stitches. So it's going well. It's, you know, you're kind of in this, so I'll show you. I'm way over here, right? So I have a ways to go. And I think I'm a little paranoid about it fitting, but I mean, I'm pretty good about my measurements. Yeah, the fabric is longer than I think. Okay. It just looks like it's such a long piece, and I'm just way over here in this section. And I think, I don't know what my goal is, but I think I'm going to do this top part first and then come down here and do the animals because that just kind of makes a lot of sense. So you'll see the fabric. It is quite a bit longer. It's very wrinkly as well. So it should fit. So I love that piece. It's really fun to have held on to that piece, which I literally just tore out of the magazine and just kept all these years. So it's really fun to finally be working on it. And it does have a lot of like Karen water lilies and that type of thing. Not the whole thing. It's mostly DMC. But okay, so that was N for nature. And I did about 3 hours in. Now, the next letter that was called was Z. It's really funny how all the kind of the hard letters were called this week. So like Z, X, Y, Q, those were all called this week, which is kind of funny. Okay, so next up is Z. And for my Z, I am working on L'Amazing. L'Amazing, yeah. This is from the Stony Creek. See if I can find the front cover for you. Maybe. Here we go. This is last summer's annual Christmas edition. So summer 2022, Stony Creek magazine. I love this magazine. And this is what she will look like when she's done. I am taking out the letters and I'm moving her down so she's a little more centered and just took out the letters. But otherwise I'm doing everything called for. So, and this is stitched on a 28 count vintage blue whisper linen. And I actually only got 2 hours in on her. So I'll have to make up that extra hour, not for ABCINGO again, but just for my own monthly goals. So the border is done. It mostly lines up. And then I started in on, it doesn't look like that took 2 hours. But when you look at it, how would it take 2 hours? But it did. So this is just kind of the very top of her head and her crown. So that's really fun. My goal on this is to finish it for the year. And I think I can do it because if you look, really, I mean, so this is where I got up here. So, I mean, it's a lot of stitching, but this is mostly fill-in all down here and then some back stitch. So I think it's doable. It's only September. So I think that we can do it. So I'm excited about that. I'll show it to you one more time. It's really fun to work on. It is a little slow. So this one calls for glisten gloss, which is like a blending thread. Glisten gloss. So that makes it is a little hard to work with. So it slows me down a little bit, but I really enjoy it. So that was Z for L'Amazing. Next up was X, and I kind of cheated on this one, to be honest with you, but it works. So X, I did Bayonne Cats by Al Forest Embroidery. I also took this off the Q Snaps to show you. This is what it will look like, and the X is for X Stitch. That's how I cheated a little bit. So this is what it will look like. I started this last year with Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates. She is done with hers. I'm not. You can see there's a lot of fill-in here, inside the cat. It's going to be so pretty. And this, I just got the whole kit. So this is a kit fabric. I believe it's a 28 count something. And this is where I'm at. So what I did this week, so I got 3 hours in, and I finished the outline of the cat, and I worked on this kind of zigzags in the cat's body. And then you can see down here, I started in on the design in the tail. And then I did a little bit over here as well with the tree and the little stars or whatever they are. So my goal in this is to finish it this year. I'm not sure I'll make it because there is a lot of stitching. I still have a bottom row to go of mice and trees. And there's some more fill-in over here as well. But we'll work on it. If I don't finish it this year, I'll work towards finishing it next year. Again, this is what it will look like. So you can see I have this zigzag in, but I have all of this fill-in to do. That's quite a lot. And then I have this whole bottom to do. And then I have some of these little motifs to do over here. So it's quite a bit of stitching. I love it. I'll love to have it done. But we'll see how far we get this year. This is in my cat bag from Garon. And the inside is little cat paws. So it's very cute. All right. And then, so that was X. And then the last one was Y. And my Y is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, which I am working on. And this is what it will look like when it's done. I am on block 2. My goal for the year is block 1 and 2. So I am on block 2, so I think I should meet the goal. So you can see on this gravestone it says 1710. What I might do is I might change that date. I might leave that to the very end and change it for the year that I finish it, which might be like 2023 or 2024. I'm not sure yet, though, because I don't know where else I would put the date, and it'd be kind of fun just to have it in there. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. So that might not be totally done, that piece, that one tombstone. I might leave that. I might do the outline, but then leave the tombstone for later. Okay, so let's look at where we're at. This one, I am stitching on 32 count Vanilla Latte by Bestitch Me, which is what all my Hawk Run Hollows are stitched on. And this is where I'm at in block 2. So I worked a lot of fill-in here on the ground and the tree roots. And I started to fill in this area where there's some more little gravestones over here, kind of in the background. And then a lot of this fill-in here. So that's what I got done. There's a lot of stitching in these. There's a lot of stitching in these. These are 92 by 92 each square. And the ones on Halloween and the one on Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow seem a lot more full coverage. Not totally full coverage, but a lot more full coverage than even Spring at Hawk Run Hollow, which had some that were quite a lot, but there were also several that weren't full coverage. But if you look at, this is Halloween, if you look at, say, this block when we get there, I mean, that's all stitching except for right up there at the top. This one I think is completely full stitchy. And so when you're talking about 92 by 92, I mean, that's bigger than a page on a Haid, right? So, I mean, not as confetti heavy, certainly. Look at this. This is so fun. I have a big mess on my table now because I didn't put anything away. But look at that. That's fun. So that was my WIPs for the week and the progress that we got. Halloween at Hawker Hollow, I did get 3 hours in. That one also is on my ABCINGO board a lot this month. I think it's on there maybe 5 times. But I'm also planning, I have a few extra days at the end of the month, which I'm planning to work on Halloween at Hawker Hollow because I would like to get block 2 done, and then I can check that goal off my goal sheet for 2021. Okay, just a little bit of haul. The only thing I got in the mail was my Christmas ornament 2021 just cross stitch issue. I'm covering up my address here. You can see I've already looked through it. I have several things flagged. Right after I finish this video, I'm going to go ahead and do a flip through for you on this one, so you can see what is coming up in that issue as well. So I'll be filming that right after this. That's all I have for haul. For giveaways, we gave away 2 last week. So first up was this kit called It's Time for Tea. It comes with everything you need to stitch in it. You can make a card or you can just make it, I think it'd be cute, just a little frame. And the winner of this is Teresa Morgan. So Teresa Morgan, congratulations. I do need your address, so if you can email me at czookstitch@gmail.com. It's also down in the description box as well. And then we also gave away this cute hedgehog friend. He's so darling. And the winner of that is Sonia Warner. So Sonia, I do need your address as well, so if you can also email me at czookstitch, that would be wonderful. And I'll get those mailed out to you definitely by the end of the month at the latest. All right, for next week's giveaways, we have 2 kind of fall-themed ones. First up is this piece called Happy Halloween. It's by Glory B. It is the called-for fabric, which you don't have to do it on, is a Witchelt 28-count coffee bean linen. It is 205 wide by 61 high. So it's not a great picture, but it's really darling. So the letters all have a theme. Look at that moon for the O. I think that's really cute. And so if you want an opportunity to win this, use the keyword Halloween. That's what I will be looking for. There's a DMC and an anchor. It calls for GAST, but there is a DMC and anchor conversion. All right, so Halloween. And then the other piece, this is called Pumpkin Swirls. Oh, got the Flosstube itchy nose. So this is what it will look like. And it actually comes with your fabric and your floss and this little charm for you to add to it. So it's the full kit. I think all you need is the needle. I'm not sure that it comes with, I don't think it comes with a needle. So you would need a needle. Now the fabric is a 28-count Country French Cafe Mocha. And the floss is silk. It's Krynex Silk Mori and Gast Silk. So if you wanted to try silk, this might be a good opportunity. I believe this is one that Robin from Bird's Eye Stitches gave me a long time ago. She sent me a whole bunch of charts to give away, and I just found it. So thank you, Robin, for allowing us to give this away. And yeah, so if you want an opportunity to win this, say pumpkin. It's called Pumpkin Swirls. So say something about pumpkin. And again, don't say anything about giveaway or anything like that in the comments. All right, so plans is just continuing on with ABCINGO. Like I said, we know that the letter drawn for today was C, and I am doing Christmas dinner, and the C is for Christmas. So that's everything. It's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful stitchy week ahead, and I will see you all next week. Bye.